What is up, everybody? I'm going to be doing a live stream every day until the draft lottery, which is in 14 days and 6 hours now. So it's coming up quick. And honestly, this is going to be a mock or a draft for the ages in terms of if you're getting a top 3 pick or top 4 pick, you're still getting a pretty good player. Same with 5, same with 6. So I feel like it's a good time to talk and answer some questions. We already have a ton of questions. And what is up? Anthony's in the house. So we're going to be just doing a live Q&A, and if you guys want to just comment about anything, you guys can. I do think we can do a little mock draft. We could do one where people join for sure. This is something that I want to keep doing. So I'm sticking to what I've been saying. To be honest, if the Panthers get number 1, I think they're going to be between Ivar, Oscar Hemming, or Oliver Savanto. I honestly don't believe that they go in that direction. I think that they would trade down. You could get Oliver and Oscar Hemming probably after the 8th or 9th pick. If you're just taking one of those guys, then it's just not good value. I feel like they would rather trade the number 1 pick to get somebody that Oscar Hemming or Oliver Savanto can be. I mean, you could probably go out and get Brady Martin right now for the number 1 pick. There's just so much value there. I feel like you could get 2 or 3 first-round picks along with it if you're going down to try to get one of those guys. Or just a value-wise, I could care less if every other draft analyst says it's a reach to draft Oliver or Oscar at number 1. If it's the Panthers system, it would just be really bad value, and it would actually your GM might get your GM might get fired. It's the matter of a player fit could be better than McKenna or whatever it is, but you can't take a player number 1 because 1, it's like Anthony Bennett in the NBA draft when Cleveland took him. He was never ready. It was supposed to be Victor Oladipo, and it ruined his career because if he was like the 9th or 10th pick, Anthony Bennett could have actually adjusted into the league. But since he had the number 1 pick, he had the number 1 pick expectations. So even if you take a guy at the number 1 pick just because it is a fit, it actually will hurt the player as well because there's just so much more expectations. And then you have how crazy would it be if the top 3 ended up being all Canadian teams, Vancouver, Calgary, and Toronto. That actually would be pretty fun. I think that if this were the case, let's say Vancouver gets McKenna, Calgary could go in a multitude of different directions. I actually don't think that they would be locked in at a Stenberg, but I think it would be the right pick. And then Toronto would just pick up a right-handed defenseman, maybe Verhoff, maybe Reed. You could even go Carson Carrolls for them, but then the Blackhawks would take Caleb Malhotra, which I think is going to start. Dr. Cool, what is up, man? How you doing? We got some people in here. I'm announcing we have a Connor Bedard jersey giveaway, and I feel like this is important to talk about now because it looks like we're getting shadow banned on X for it. So let me see, and I'll show you the post here so you guys know how to enter. It's very easy to enter. Me and Brock have teamed up, and if you want to follow Bedsy Bop and Draft Pros Hockey, which is my company, and it's the site that we're on currently, you just go here, you like and retweet it. It's just a free jersey, and a winner will be announced in 7 days. This just got tweeted about an hour ago. So if any of you guys are interested in that, please just enter. I mean, we're going to be doing giveaways. That's why you should subscribe. We're doing a subathon. We're trying to get to 5,000 subs before the end of the NHL draft. And I'm going to the combine. I'm going to the draft. We're going to be so much more content. So I really appreciate everybody for, watching my videos. We have a ton of videos going on right now. One of the videos we actually have is with Scott Wheeler, and he actually builds the Blackhawks lines. If anybody is interested in this, it's a really good video. I was very surprised with how he got here. So if you guys want to see this video, I will share this tab here. Well, let's see. I feel like this is just one of those videos that people should be watching and keeping an eye on. But we have the Building the Blackhawks lines with Scott Wheeler. We have a Porter Martone full interview with Marty McFlyer. So if anybody wants to see my interview with him, we got some really good content right now. Maple Leafs draft options. This actually had like 200 views, and now it's down to 115. I have no idea. I mean, it had 200 views when it was debuting. I don't know what happened. I think I'm shadow banned. I don't that was so weird to me. But mock drafting with Stephen Ellis, if any of you guys want to watch this, I released my draft rankings yesterday. So that's on the site as well. And then we got some mock drafts coming out too. We got one today and then one tomorrow with Mason Black, who's the creator of PNHLE. And I feel like that's always a good one. But go down here, try to get yourself a Bedard jersey if you guys want something like that. But let's try to do a run of draft lottery. Let's see what happens here. We're going to get Blue Chip Prospect down in about 30 minutes. So in this one, Vancouver and Winnipeg both jumped up. I feel like that's pretty interesting. But I did want to show you guys this. So this is my new rankings page. I actually just updated it. It went live, and you could see all of my prospect rankings right here. So this actually went live. And if you guys actually want to do something like compare prospects, you can compare them side by side. I'm also doing flashcards. It's my next update. So you could learn 435 different prospects with flashcards like a Quizlet. And I feel like it's probably for more creators than not, but just so that you can kind of get an idea of everybody. They would go for a goalie in a trade. I could totally see that. Going to pick up Oliver Savanto or Oscar Hemming plus a goalie would be really nice. I mean, look at where the Sharks are. Go down there, get Askarov. They would totally go for the number one pick, plus give you a couple other assets. Probably a 1-for-1 with Winnipeg. Now, yeah, like Winnipeg, let's say the Panthers are at number one, right? And you could get Hellebuck. I think you can get Hellebuck plus something. I can't wait till the draft order is finalized. So much can change with the order of the first 10 picks based on who is where. Of course, yeah, this is one of the most exciting days on May 5th for me. I mean, I am going to be going live. I'm going to have some guests on too, but it's just such an exciting time. You get to see exactly where people are. You get to do mock drafts. You get to bring people on, talk about exactly what things are doing. Okay, let's say the Panthers do get number one and they do trade out. What could we get for that pick in terms of both capital, draft, and NHL ready prospects? Okay, in the comments down below, who do you think would move up for the number one pick? Let's say the Panthers, right? Let's say the Panthers and the Blackhawks, or the Panthers and the Sharks. So the Blackhawks obviously want McKenna or Stenberg or even Malholtra, but they're not going to trade up for him. So let's say you could get Adam Guyan or Comesso, two goalie prospects for the Blackhawks who are very highly rated. I know that Guyan had a great season this year, and in 2023, he was the first goalie off the board. The Blackhawks were actually I think the first team ever to select the first skater and goalie in a draft, which kind of is a cool little tidbit right there. But in terms of what you could get from the Blackhawks, maybe you could get the 2027 first round pick back. You move down, say it's like Blackhawks are drafting at 4. You go from 4, you pick up a first round pick, you get like even a Soderblom. So let's say Soderblom and the 2027 first. So you're getting 2 assets on top of the 4th overall pick, and you're trading for the first. So you can still get Oliver Savanto. You could still get Oscar Hemming. Let's go in a different direction here. Let's go with the Predators. So the Predators have Jack Ivankovic, and he played well at Michigan. He's a player that is cool, calm, and collective in net. He's very good in those high-pressure situations, which is exactly what you want to see in a goaltender, and you saw that in Michigan. I mean, he just got outdueled by a legendary performance by Johnny Hicks, but at the same time, like, this is a guy that played well at the World Juniors as well, and he's by far one of my favorite goalie prospects. So you get him, you get their pick, and even like a Jacob Brombach or a more NHL ready player, or even try to get Brady Martin. Obviously not in the same package with all those other pieces, but let's say that they're dangling Brady Martin, and you could get Ivan Kovic or whatever it is, I would trade that instead of going for Oscar Hemming. Obviously, it's so hard to make trades, and this is obviously all hypothetical. But if the Panthers did decide that they wanted Hemming or Oliver Savanto, then it would just be the best option to trade down. Giveaways to generate likes and follows is strictly against the algorithm for manipulation. Probably. Let's see. Don, are there any goalies that you feel in this class are worth a first-round pick? You know, there are a couple that were on Sam Terpak's top 32. We actually went through that. I'm dropping that video very soon. One is Dmitry Borchev, and I feel like he could be one of the guys that has been kind of, okay, let's say Andrianov, right? Andrianov last year got drafted 20th overall to Columbus. He was not supposed to be. He went to that Gold Star camp, and people were thinking if it was him or Frolov, who was the guy that had surprised teams, and it ended up being Andrianov. So I think that we're going to start hearing some names in the first round. I know Brady Nolan's probably going to go in the second or third round, but he's also a solid goalie. You have, I guess Treble is probably the one that I'm highest on, but I don't know if he's going to make it to the first round. I think it's going to be a surprise goalie that does it, and I think Dmitry Borchev would be the one. Let's see. Don, I don't know what it is. YouTube deleted your interview with the Panthers content guys. That's interesting. It's still up on theirs. That was a good interview, though. Don, it's still showing Oscar Hemming with the Canadian flag on your ranking, by the way. Not a Finnish flag. That's so weird, actually. Yeah, it does say CA. But he could have... that is interesting. Let me see if he has, like, dual citizenship, or he can play for both teams. I'm just checking this for Oscar Hemming real quick. Yeah, he should be on Finland. Yeah, this is I gotta change that. But he played well at Helinka. Obviously, for Finland, he should have the flag there, so I will switch that. So thank you. Let's see. What's May 5? May 5th is the lottery. I could see Florida trading their one-away pick to Winnipeg for Helly. As a Jets fan for life, I'm taking the deal, especially if the Panthers jump up in the draft. I think that's a really fair type of deal. I think that, honestly, Florida should try to get something else, but if they are like, hey, we get Hellebuyck, a generational goalie, like, you have to do it. Winnipeg, Helly wants to win. It totally makes sense. They have to start a rebuild again. That's actually a really good option. Are the Florida Panthers going to try to make a trade offer for Hellebuyck, and what is it going to take? What do you guys think? If Carls is available at Florida pick, I'm Winnipeg and dangling Helly for that pick. This is something that I honestly think it's a pretty good one. If I were them, I'd sign Arvid. Is that Soderblom? Yeah, I think Soderblom would be pretty good. Do you see the Flames taking Maholcha? They've been looking for a 1C ever. Yeah, so I do believe that Maholcha's going to go in the top 4, top 5. I think that any team that doesn't get lucky in the draft, in terms of lucky, if you're the Flames or the Rangers or the Blackhawks or the Canucks, it's just like they fall 2 spots. So I do see a situation, but let's say the Flames are 5, right? Let's say the Flames are, let's actually do this real quick. So you go to mock draft. I actually am very interested in this. Let's run the draft simulator and see where they fall. Because obviously they could go down to 6, right? So they get the number 1 pick. So this doesn't help us in terms of that. But we could still see where Maholcha could go. So obviously McKenna grew up a Flames fan. He would go to there. I'm going to turn off the sound. But then you go to New York Rangers. I honestly don't know if New York would go with Ivar Stenberg. They've been burned before by a guy like Capo Caco, and they just might not. Their philosophy might not do that. So they could honestly be a team that goes with Caleb Malhotra or Chase Reed. I just see Chase Reed being a Ranger. I don't know why, but I would still go Chase Reed here. You got to go Stenberg for Vancouver. And then Caleb Malhotra right here at 4 for the Blackhawks. Like, I feel like that's going to be locked and loaded. But if the Calgary Flames are a team that's 3rd or 4th, you'd have to realize that if the Blackhawks, well, it picked Keaton Bearhoff because it froze. But if the Blackhawks are a team that is picking 3rd, let's say in this one, the Panthers won the pick, Vancouver's 2. Panthers go Gavin McKenna, then they trade him or whatever it is. But then you go Ivar Stenberg for the Canucks. Then you go Blackhawks with the 3rd pick. I think that they will go Caleb Malhotra. And if that is the player that the Calgary Flames do indeed want, they could honestly try to trade one of their assets to try to go up and get him. But I think getting Carols or Verhoff or Reed at that spot would just be fantastic. Do you... so, yeah. Who do you like to be available for the Canucks' second first rounder? This is a great question. So the Canucks here are all the way down here, but obviously this pick isn't locked in. And right now it's 24th overall. So I do believe that in the 24th overall spot, you could get very, very lucky if a guy like Xavier Villeneuve, I actually updated my rankings, so I'm going to put my rankings in here today, but Xavier Villeneuve is all the way down at 22. If he falls, he was 6th on Elite Prospects new rankings. So I think that this would be a Hall of Fame type of get here for the Canucks. You just want to get as many like high quality upside assets as you possibly can. I would also look for the Rucks, because if you can pair them up, because Vancouver also has a very, very early second round pick, obviously 33. If the Senators didn't get that pick back, they would actually have the 32nd overall pick. I think that they should take away the pick just because those guys that created that song. I mean, I can't do it with those guys anymore. Every time they're going to get swept by the Canes. It's like the hockey gods don't like that song. So for me, as a joke, they should lose this pick, obviously. Darren and Rocco from the Bunker Boys are big Sens fans, and I just love giving them crap for it, even though I'm a Blackhawks fan. But at the same time, like, those guys are hilarious that they created the song. But if you could get like a Liam Ruck at 24 and you could get a Marcus Ruck at 33, I'd kind of like that. They're not afraid to take twins. I've been on Sportsnet 590, and all of it was just about Liam Ruck and Marcus Ruck in a lot of ways. You could go in a direction of Brooks Rogowski, 6'7" now. Good production in the OHL, 46 games played, but he had 42 points, 15 goals. He's not a slow player, but obviously when you're 6'7", you have to, in hockey, skating is everything, and I think that he can actually make it as a skater. I was obviously a big Porter Martone fan, and I can't believe he fell. So please don't make the same mistake with guys like Ryan Rubrick and Brooks Rogowski, not in terms of their skill, but big guys that just have upside. You saw it with Dean Letourneau. Porter Martone was basically a Ryan Rubrick, but he played so well and did everything right, and his compete level was great, and he still fell to 6. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? I loved Porter Martone. I had him in my top 3 last year too. He just fell to Michael Misa because I loved Michael Misa's skating, but for most of the year, actually, Porter Martone was higher than Michael Misa. So Flames taking Malhotra makes so much sense. It suits their needs and persona. I completely agree. Did Manny Malhotra play for the Flames? Somebody help me out here. I know he played 12 seasons. I believe he coached or played for the Rangers. I haven't really watched a lot of Manny Malhotra, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I could see the Flames taking Malhotra. He seems very Monahan to me, Sean Monahan. That's an interesting one. I feel like when you're taking a Malhotra, he kind of reminds me of Dylan Larkin. I've been saying this for a long time. Not the speed, but the role he could play. Like, you can have a Dylan Larkin as your 1C, but Dylan Larkin would be an elite 2C. And I feel like in the modern day of the NHL, you need like 2 1Cs. And I feel like Caleb Malhotra is that. Would Moroza last till 22? I think so. I think because Maddox is gonna be rising to the top 15. And then Malte Gustafsson is rising. I think he'll be in the top 15. I think Wyatt Cullen will be in the top 16 now. Based on what we're hearing, he could be the Ben Kindle of this class, like go 11th. So please clip this if I'm right, because I know I'm right. Mathis Preston is not going to target that. I would say Villeneuve might be in the top 16, but he could also fall because of size. So I think Morozov will be there at 22. I think he might be like a Lyndon Lakovic this year where he goes like 27. I don't know if Florida has a cap for him. Maybe a three-way with Chicago. We get more of Jones' contract. I don't want that. How about this trade? The Panthers get 2 first-round picks this year from San Jose. Askarov, Shakir, Mikabadulin, and Igor Chernyshov. And San Jose gets the number 1 pick. This is way too much. Like, San Jose, obviously, we don't know when the Oilers are going to finish, but they have currently the 8th overall pick. Is that correct? Yeah, so it would not be anything close to that. They would not trade Igor Chernyshov. You could probably get Shakir. You could get Askarov, but you can't get all of them. And you could get 2 first-round picks. But I think Igor Chernyshov makes this unfair for San Jose, but also San Jose can pay more, and you're getting Gavin McKenna, so there's a premium. So maybe, honestly, because, yeah, Askarov is unproven. Would the Blackhawks target Knight since he fits in their cap? What? I don't understand this one. Would the Blackhawks target Knight, or do you mean the Panthers, or do the Hawks make a pick if they drop to 4, or do they trade back and get more assets? I think you have to make the pick. This is a great draft. Or let's say if you're trading down, trade down to like 7 if you have the 4th pick. Because at the same time, I think you're getting the same tier of player, but I don't want the Blackhawks to trade for a Nyes with the 4th pick or like a Robertson. Because you are going to have a lot of first-round assets and prospects that might not work out to everything that you think. So in my honest opinion, if you're picking at top 4, obviously it's locked in, but you need to just pick here. Unless you trade back. And if you trade back, you're getting a lot of assets anyway, and you could still pick in the top 10. This might be your last chance ever to pick in the top 4 again until the next era of Blackhawks hockey. So I can't do it. I just can't do that. I hate that. I hate trading a top 5 pick. It's not what I want to do. I would trade back, try to accumulate a couple more first-round picks, use those, and then still take best player available at 7. Because you saw like what you could get with the 6th or 7th overall pick last year, and that was considered a weak class, which it never was, but a lot of people thought it was. And in all honesty, that's just, if you're getting Porter Martone 6, if you're getting James Hagan 7, some teams overthought it. I'm not going to lie. You can't let Porter Martone fall that far. You can't let James Hagan fall that far. I was so upset. I know the Predators got Brady Martin, and I'm happy with Brady Martin, but Brady Martin should never have gone over Porter Martone or James Hagan. It's not because Brady Martin's bad. Porter Martone is going to be a star. I said that last year. I was talking to him. He likes salt and vinegar chips, which means he's going to be a star. Like, you need to be a special kind of human to eat those salt and vinegar chips. I'm obviously joking. He is such an elite shot. His playmaking is fantastic. He has the 6'4" size. His skating has only increased the last 3 years of his development. When you talk to a guy like Chris Peters or Steven Ellis, these guys were raving about him at the combine as well. Like, if you look at his progression over years, year over year for his skating, it looked fantastic. This is a guy that plays well in tight. He can puck handle really well, especially when there's pressure. He can go in front of the net, get those rebounds, be a net front presence, and kind of emulate what the Kachuk brothers and Corey Perry are doing out there. He's a magnet to the puck. He probably is more valuable than Matvei Michkov right now as well. And we were talking about Matvei Michkov being a generational offensive player. Porter Martone is exactly the modern day kind of power forward that you need, and he should have been top 3. He should have been top 4. I'll say that. I like Anton Frundell. I did not have Anton Frundell over Porter Martone, and I'm not going to change that just because I like Anton, and he's on the Blackhawks, the team I grew up watching. And I've talked to Anton a lot, but at the same time, like, I need to stay truthful and unbiased to my opinions. And I thought Porter Martone was the better fit for the Blackhawks. But at the same time, if you're going into the conversation of Frondell is also a center, then that could go into play. His B game is probably better than Porter Martone, and his transition game and Martone's transition game are both pretty weak in terms of on their scouting reports. But at the same time, they looked pretty good to me. Didn't look anything different. So I feel like either one is a good pick, but in a redraft, I think Porter Martone would go 3 or 4. So Press at 10. I think center. Preds at 10. I think center or right D. So, wait. So Predators are at 9. We'll get blue chip prospect in here right now. Let me see. All right, what's up, blue chip? How you doing?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm good. We're doing our subathon. So
subathon.
We're gonna stream every day until the draft lottery. I feel like it's a good way to get everybody involved. We have 35 people right now on YouTube watching and 93 on X. So thank you guys for watching. If you want me to add in your YouTube, I can as well. We got.
I guess yeah.
We got good numbers. So here, let's see.
Give me all the subscribers.
Yeah, so I just want to make as much content as possible. We got like 4 or 5 different videos popping off right now on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for watching a lot of that stuff. And we're doing I'm doing a Bedard jersey giveaway presented by Draft Pros with Bedsy and Bedsy Bop, who's the Twitter account. So definitely check that out. And yeah, I wanted to ask you what you're thinking about the Habs playoffs. Slavkovsky looks pretty good, huh?
Jesus, that was a fun game. It's man, for the last third of the season, I felt like this team was absolutely ready for anybody. Like, obviously, you can always lose. Like, it's the playoff, man. Some teams they pass, some teams they don't. It's the way it is. But they are absolutely ready. They are ready, like, physically. In terms of speed, they can beat basically anyone in the league, or at least equal anyone in the league. It's just like they look good, man. They look really, really good. So Slavkovsky was great. Demidov with a crazy pass on the power play for a Slavkovsky one-timers. Just and doing all this without Dobson. So I'm entertained.
I wanted to ask you about like the future of the NHL, because right now we're seeing Porter Martone just tear it up.
He's so good, huh? But dangerous.
Where I'm going with this question is Michkov looks pretty bad. He looks pretty unplayable. I know Colby Cohen on the Daily Faceoff show, Morning Cup of Coffee, said that he wouldn't even play him. Are you okay now with the David Reinbacher pick?
I'm okay with it because of the structure of the Montreal Canadiens and because we got Demidov the year after. If we didn't get Demidov, that would completely change. Like, Mishkov is having not so great year, but he's been good in some games. It's not like he was terrible all year. He's been good. It's just he's not consistent. Starting the year, I think he ate too many pizzas and cake in the summer. So I mean, happens to the best of us. But
I've been there.
Yeah, I think he's a really good player, and I think he will have a very good career. He's a competitive kid on the ice. It's just that he's got to get that competitiveness outside the ice too. So it's a step. He's still a young player. I think he will be fine. I think he will be fantastic. He will be more than fine. And Reinbacher is more because that is what we need. We need a guy who can play a mature game, physical game, suffocating game in the defensive zone with a good first pass, and doesn't necessarily take a lot of risk offensively, doesn't pinch at every occasion or activate from the blue line deep into the zone every time that he sees a puck. It's like, we don't need that. We have Matheson, we have Dobson, we have Hudson. We're good. We need Reinbacher to be a solid, dependable defensive defenseman, but not defensive, but two-way defenseman who can also move the puck, and he can absolutely be that. The few games that he played with us, you play like 11 minutes or 12 minutes, so it's not a lot to judge from. But he looked great. He was physical. He was suffocating. Good stick. He's not being like caught puck watching. He's good positionally. He's just good. So I think Mishkov on its own is going to be a better player than Reinbacher. I think there shouldn't be too much debate about that. The skill level, the on ice hockey sense is a different level of player. But Reinbacher will be more useful to the Montreal Canadiens than Mishkov would be. But that's because we got Demidov, and then we have Hage on top of that, and we have Jarowski on top of that, and we already have a solid top six. So that's the reason why.
And thank you so much for saying that. I was playing around with the website for like an hour yesterday. Amazing job. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. We're adding more features in, and we actually have the redraft feature in here. So I want to put Blue Chip on the spot. I don't think that anything would change from the top three, right? So would you say Columbus would still go Adam Fantilli here at 3 and then Will Smith at 4? And I wanted to see who you're picking for the Montreal Canadiens at 5 in a redraft.
Oh, geez. Putting me on the spot, like you said, no?
Yes, sir.
Well, first, are you absolutely sure that Chicago would still go to Bedard over Leo Carlson?
Come on here. What are we talking about? Yes.
No? You sure? Okay.
I
think it's more of a debate that it was back in the days, because back in the days,
I don't think there's a debate at all. Like, yeah. I think
But the thing is that Leo Carlson brings so much more, like in every facet of the game, that Connor Bedard could never do. But I mean, Bedard is going to be a more productive player for sure. Like, there's no debate around that. That's not what I'm saying. It's just as an overall impact player, when they're both like 25, 26, 27, like, I think Leo Carlson has a shot to be the more, not productive player, but more important player on his team.
Bedard has
a shot. I'm not saying it's likely. I'm saying there's a shot. It's not like a 0% thing. But I would still go Connor Bedard first. If that's the question, I would still go that way. Then do you go Fantilli at number 3 or you go Will Smith at number 3? That's another question. I think Will Smith is looking fantastic. Fantilli is a different type of player. He's more physical, more intense, but he doesn't nearly has the same level of skill as Smith. Smith is just a beautiful player to watch. I think I would still go with Fantilli, also because, again, it's how they will be when they're 25 years old that matters to me, not what they are today. And I think Fantilli will have more impact on the overall game than Will Smith will have. So I would have Fantilli at number 3, and then Will Smith at number 4 because they're pretty close. And then at number 5. I don't know who else looks good, and that's I mean, Simashev is good, Mishkov is good, Ryan Leonard looking good. Who else if we go down? Like, if I don't have a visual, I just don't remember anything.
Zach Benson, you got Axel Sandin Palinka.
No, certainly not.
Otto Stenberg just changed his name a little bit.
Yeah. No, I think I'm
Colin
still
Ritchie,
comfortable.
but I feel like there was a really big, like Roman Kanserov, I think, isn't. I mean, honestly, chat, what do you think? Roman Kanserov or Michkov right now? Like, that could be a video, but I have no idea. I don't
I think Roman Kanserov will be a really, really good player. I think there's a big fat chance he's going to be top 6 player for Chicago. I'm not sure if there's enough space for him, Lardis, and Bedard in the same top 6. That's a bit of a problem.
And Nazar.
It's a construction problem. And Nazar on top of that. But I think, like, if I had to bet between Lardis and Kanserov, I'd probably bet on Kanserov. I think he has more game.
Michkov or Kanserov? I know it sounds crazy.
Yeah, Michkov. No debate for me. I like I said, I think Kanserov will be a top 6 player. I think Mishkov can be a superstar.
I do agree with the offensive superstar, but if Michkov can never develop his compete and B game, and he takes shifts off, and he's not really good defensively, do you think that Kanserov could be a better playoff player? Because Kanserov has shown in the playoffs that he dominates in the KHL.
No, because, man, when I watch, I know it comes up a lot, like the Mishkov is not competitive, doesn't have a big game, and it's the big game type of thing is type of true, is kind of true. Doesn't have much of it right now, even though he tries to be a bit more physical, a little bit more involved in the back check and stuff like that, but he's extremely competitive on the ice. Every time that I've seen him, like it's not like I watch every Flyers game. I'm not a Flyers fan, so I'm not gonna do that. But every time that I watched him, he looked really, really good. Like he was not abandoning on plays. Yes, he still cheats in the NHL, but there's so many teams that cheats in the NHL. I mean, Tampa Bay does that all game long. So it's like he will stretch the ice and he will go towards the offensive blue line and wait for a puck there so he can have a chance with less pressure. That's his game. That was his game in the KHL, and it's still his game in the NHL. But he can also play the cycle. He can also play position game in the offensive zone. Yeah, I think there's no way. I mean, nothing is impossible in life, but I think there's no way that Kanserov will be a better player or more useful player than Mishkov. I think Mishkov, even though we keep saying he's not that competitive, he looks super competitive every time I watch him. So just a bad season overall. I wouldn't bet too much on that.
For me, that's just an insanely hot take that Kanserov could be a better player than Michkov, but I thought it was interesting to bring up because there's a lot of Michkov hate right now in terms of that. So I think we had a good question here. How about the defenseman under David Reinbacher, and that's Dmitry Simashev. He tore up the AHL this year and looked very, very good. And
I always preferred Simashev over Reinbacher.
Me too.
For me, it's not that much of an option. I think he's more assertive in the way that he plays. Like he doesn't hesitate the way Reinbacher can do a little bit when he holds the puck a little too long and then he gets caught and being pushed along the board in his defensive zone and then he's stuck trying to chip the puck out. Like Simashev doesn't really have that hesitation when he's going for the puck. He already knows what he's going to do with it. He's a better skater. He's bigger. He's faster. He's more agile. I think like Reinbacher can have a little bit more of an offensive ceiling. I know the stats in the AHL would say the contrary, but I think Reinbacher has more offensive game in him than Simashev does. But I think Simashev has a good chance to be the better defenseman. Like, yeah, I think Simashev has a good chance. Like, there's not other defensemen that I would take above Reinbacher. Like, I would not take Bonk or Axel Sandin-Pellikka or these defensemen or even Villander. He's good. He skates well. He's aggressive. I'm not sure I would take him over Reinbacher. But Simashev, I could, yeah. Not if I was the Avs, because the Avs don't need another left shot defenseman. Like, there's no way. We have 20 of them. But for the Avs, it would be Reinbacher. But in general, I think Simashev is my favorite player.
Do you think that they would go Michkov now? I mean, and even try to pair him up with a Demidov? I mean, hindsight's 2020, but
yeah.
What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure if how much they were ever interested in Michkov. Like, I'm sure they watched him and they interviewed him and did all the things that they're supposed to do because that's what they're paid for. But I'm not sure how much a guy that had a little bit of a troubled past, a little bit of an attitude problem, was the guy they want to bring in. Like, it's so obvious to me that the Habs, they built the team to have like all character players, all players that will play for each other and are not going to play to pad their stats and stuff like that. And Michkov doesn't seem like a guy that's going to fit in that mentality of a pack mentality. He's a little bit more individual as a player. He has all the skill in the world to be an individual player, but it's not what Montreal is looking for. Even Demidov is not an individual player whatsoever. So, yeah, I don't think they ever really considered him, like, seriously. But I think today they would never do that. They would never take him now. Maybe they would take Ryan Leonard.
They could take Ryan Leonard. I wanted to ask, actually, that's what I'll do right now. I will put... Honestly, I don't know what my pick for they would be, but Ryan Leonard, I think, would be fun. Or, yeah. All right. I feel like, chat, we're going to need your help here. Who do you think the Habs pick here? I wanted to go to this for Blue Chip. I wanted to ask you. So, Jeff Merrick today said that he thinks that Chicago has had a lot of eyeballs on Caleb Malhotra all season long. They are not afraid to take Brantford. It seems like a mini OHL Chicago Blackhawks team. in
Mhm.
terms of where they're getting their prospects. So
Yeah.
can you kind of talk about if the Blackhawks are third or even second, do you think Caleb Malhotra would be the pick for them?
It's a tough question. I don't like if the question is does he deserve to be there? I think he has as at second overall. I don't see it. Like the talent level at second overall is too high to pass on them for Caleb Malhotra, in my opinion. Would Chicago do it? It's possible. Like it's not like they don't need that size down the middle. Like that guy project as a very good second center. Like that, the more likely scenario is probably a very good second line center. He could be a first line center, but if you already have Bedard, you're probably not playing him there, and you also have Frondel that was looking good at the end of the season. So I think he brings a little bit of what Chicago needs, but I would not take him above Ivar Stenberg or McKenna. But at the same time, he's one of the players that improved the most over the season, right? If you look at McKenna did improve significantly, but not in the same fashion that Caleb Malhotra did. I think Caleb Malhotra went from basically a non-factor to like the best player on the teams. It's like he's looking so good and he's improving in every facet. And I feel like that's so important in your draft year. Like, do you want a player that's been the same all season, that kind of plateau a little bit, or you want a guy that keeps improving and still has more space to improve physically and everything? So I think he would be a good pick, but personally, I would not do it above Stenberg and McKenna. But after that, for me, I think he deserved to be in the conversation with Chase Reed, Verhoff, and Albert Smith.
And SYNYT said Chicago should trade back if they don't get one or two. Do you agree here? And where do you think that drop off is in the first 10 picks or first 12 picks, wherever you see the drop off, so that the Blackhawks can gain value from a trade back plus get a player that could be in a similar tier from a guy that's drafted fourth?
Yeah. Well, first, I feel like there's a drop off after McKenna. I think McKenna is the better player, and I think
I agree.
I don't think it's like it is close because Ivar Stenberg is special, but it's not that close. Like McKenna to me is a significant level above Ivar Stenberg, at least in terms of upside. It's just when you put it all together, when you take the floor and the upside, then it's a different story. But I feel like if you're aiming for upside, McKenna is like it's a different level. So there's a drop off there. And I think like after you've got McKenna, Ivar Stenberg, Chase Reed, Albert Smith, Keaton Veroff, and Malhotra, I think after that, like even Ethan Belchez could be in that conversation because there's like a significant potential there, but I don't think he deserves to be there at this moment. I don't think he did enough. So I would stop it with Malhotra. So basically, like it's the first how many is that? 5, 6 player. After that, I think there's a drop.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of take a look at where Malhotra would fit and make the Blackhawks a better team. Because if you kind of see how if Anton Frundel's not at the 2C, this actually allows Anton Frundel to alternate between if Anton Frundel is a center or Connor Bedard's a center. It doesn't really matter how it is on paper, but in terms of if you get Frundel with Bedard, I think that they showed a lot of kind of chemistry. And then what you do is you have Caleb Malhotra here. You could even put Frank Nazar in the 3C, which Blashill said he kind of likes. And then you could honestly, which I don't think a lot of people are talking about, you could put up Roman Kanserov with Caleb Malhotra. So it flattens out, so you don't have to put Kanserov with Frank Nazar, and you could put Anton Frundel with Bedard, and you could kind of wait. And look at this right here. You could actually put Roman Kanserov with Bedard and Frundel because Roman Kanserov plays bigger than he is. So let's look at this kind of line, which is just a thought. But if you have Caleb Malhotra here, you have a you have a first round pick in Merrick Vanacker, and you can put him on the right or the left, but I'm going to put him on the right so that you can give a shooting lane to a guy named Nick Lardis. And this is the Brantford Bulldog line right here. You can honestly have Nick Lardis being a top sniper option in the league with a guy like Caleb
Mhm.
Malhotra, who just is such a good playmaker. And then Merrick Vanacker can help clean things up because he's been playing with Jake O'Brien. He is always a player that is going backdoor. He finds open space. He loses his defenders and just somehow finds all the rebounds. So if Caleb Malhotra is the playmaker and a 6'2", 2C, that could have 1C upside, then you could pass it along to Nick Lardis, and the Merrick Vanecker's there for the rebounds. Then you have Frank Nazar here, and you got a guy like Sasha Boisvert as one of the top 4Cs or interchangeable bottom 6 centers in the entire league. And then you could even put Ryan Green here, which I think has been playing fantastic. Oliver Moore, even on this side, and then you can just battle it out for Neshersil West going in any of these positions. But I think on paper, this would look good. It's, I could totally see a scenario where they could see Carson Karels as a Kevin Korchinski replacement. You put him here, you put Wyatt Kaiser here, and then you could put Carson Karels with Artem Levshunov to help him out. You can keep you could keep Korchinski too and put him here, because I actually think that Karels.
How do you get
Korchinski.
Karels if you get Malhotra?
Well, this would not be, you wouldn't get Malhotra here,
Okay.
but if you get Karels, then you could still push up like Anton Frendel here.
Or you take Karels at like number 3, let's say?
I would not take Karels over Malhotra because I think that building defense is very important for the Blackhawks, but at the same time, like, you have so many young defensemen, let's spread it out a little bit. Because let's say they all hit, you're still going to have to pay them. And Malhotra, I do believe, has more upside than for the Blackhawks because it helps out. He's a multiplier. But for Carson Karels, he actually just creates more issues because Wyatt Kaiser is a serviceable defenseman. And Kevin Korchinski, then, is he going to have a role? So I actually think that this hurts the Blackhawks fundamentally if you're not taking a winger, elite forward in this range, because I think that you need to target. Obviously, Gavin McKenna is a great option, or Ivar Stenberg, but actually Ivar Stenberg Gavin McKenna doesn't. But if you're getting Ivar Stenberg, he's 5'11", and he actually creates more questions because you have Roman Kanserov, who's like 5'9", Bedard, who's 5'10", Lardis, who's 6 feet, but he's very slender, and then you have Frank Nazar, who's also 5'9". That's a lot of sub 5'10", 5'11" forwards. And Nick Lardis you can put in there because he has question marks with his B game and he doesn't play big. He actually plays like a 5'10" forward, in my opinion, but he is 6 feet, so that is good. And then Oliver Moore is kind of the same way. He gets pushed off of pucks a lot. He's not strong. He is 6 feet, but there's a 6 foot threshold, and do you play like a 6 foot player? And he does not either. So that's just like, if you're getting Ivar Stenberg, his B game is very good, or Gavin McKenna. But I think for the Blackhawks, Caleb Malhotra actually fits exactly what they need because he is 6'2". He has that size and he plays big, and he's not afraid. He's not afraid to get into those puck battles or around the net. I don't know.
Or they can go and get a Caleb Malhotra with a trade instead of by trading what they have right now. Like they have a lot of the same players, and when you look at that roster you just put on, you're not winning with that. Like, you're not winning for a while with that because all those players are like 21 years old.
Yeah.
You understand? So you have to have like some veterans in there. You need to have other players than just freshly drafted players in your alignment. It's not going to work that way. So I think like probably one of the best things they could do is package a pick and package 1 or 2 of their good prospect and go get the player they need. I feel like if they want to come out of the basement at some point, because if not, if you're entering Kanserov next year and Lardis and Frondel and Bedard, who's like, he's going to be in his third or fourth season already?
Fourth,
yeah. And then you have Oliver Moore, and then you have Frank Nazar is in his second. Now he's going to be in his third. Ryan Green. It's like, it's so many players that are fresh out of junior levels and NCAA level. It's like, you're not going to be competing in the NHL and make a spot in the playoff with that. Like, it's not impossible. Like I keep saying, nothing is impossible, but it's very, very not likely to happen. So you need, like, if you want to start competing and like make your kid hungry to win, you're going to have to get some players that are already there, players that like it would probably be better to like trade that third overall pick or something like that and get an actual real player. I don't know who. I don't have no idea because I never looked at it that way. But to get an actual player of that level above drafting a guy like Malhotra, who's going to be 2-3 years away. And when he gets to the NHL, it's not like he's going to be a superstar right away. It's going to take some time for you to develop into a real two-way defenseman, two-way center in the NHL. So, you know, I feel like the strategy now is more acquiring player than drafting more and more and more.
And that's why you subscribe and watch the show On the Clock podcast with me and Blue Chip Prospect. We were, I guess, named as the hottest duo in scouting. This is, I don't know what magazine did it, but but please like and subscribe, and then subscribe to Blue Chip Prospect. Help him get to 10 million. He's very, very close, or 10,000. Sorry. But yeah, help him get to 10 million. That would be cool. You have to remember he's been in 3 different leagues and 3. I think this is that about Artie? I kind of just clicked a random comment. That's my bad. Yeah, I'm trading.
Yeah, Artie, it's even more than that. Artie, like, he's been around the world in 2 years.
Yeah. Off topic a bit, but what do you guys think happened to Caden Lindstrom? Pick before Demidov is not exactly lighting it up in the NCAA. He got hurt. He had a back injury. When you're like 6'4", 6'5", and you have a back injury, like I can't walk right now. If you look at my back, I'm like tilted, and I had back surgery in December, and then I just tweaked it a little bit while I was stretching. Like when these guys are playing hockey and you get hit every single shift, it's just like, I'm not taking guys with back injuries because I have a back injury. I know how bad this thing is. Like, it's tough, but I think that he has a lot of talent. Just give him time. I think that he could progress into. It took a long time for these big 6'4", 6'5" guys, but that's why it's like, how is Porter Martone doing this? Like, seriously, how is Porter Martone is probably valued at like
Porter Martone is
Lindstrom's right now.
Much Smarter player than Caden Lindstrom.
Yeah,
like I liked Caden Lindstrom in his draft year. I don't think I had him top 5. I had him like number 9 or 8 or something like that. But still, like, he's an athletic kid. He's he's been injured a lot. He barely played any minutes in the NCAA this season. So you just gotta give him the time to develop, the time to play, to get into situations, and he's gonna be a good player. I'm sure he's going to be a good player in the NHL level. I don't have doubt about that. Is he going to be a 4th overall level player? That's a different story. But like you said, picking a guy with back issues in the top 4 it's risky. Like I think LA picked Vilardi in his draft here, and he had back issues, and it took a while for him to get there. And he had more injuries on top of it, just like Lindstrom. So, like, if you don't get the guys that are already injured, like, try to get healthy young kid who can develop instead of getting kids that are gonna have to miss an entire season of their prime development years. It's nonsensical to me. Like, if you have the chance between Demidov, who's been doing what he was doing back in the draft year, and Lindstrom, it doesn't make sense to take Lindstrom, especially when he's injured. If he's not injured and he played the whole season, no back issue, or he broke a finger or something like that, that's fine. But like, when you look at both players, maybe you want the size of Lindstrom, but if he's been injured for like 3/4 of the season and you know it's his back, and like, just don't do that. I feel like.
So we have a first time here for our channel, and this was a great question. First time here, who is your biggest riser for the draft? And for right now, I have 3. And one of them is Caleb Malhotra, but that doesn't count from summer scouting. Second is Tommy Blyle. And one of my favorite players to watch, right-handed defenseman. He just skates like the wind. I kind of compare him to like Blue Chip Prospect skating. He looks like he's mixed with like Mick Jesus, and Blue Chip Prospect when they're skating. Yeah. Just like, he looks like a Zamboni out there, honestly. Like, there's no resistance. If you look what he's doing at the Q.
I was not that great of a skater.
We'll just lie. No one will know. But 81 points in 63 games in the Q, I believe. This is off the top of my head, so I need to do my research, but I believe that's kind of close. Maybe 58 games played. I'm not sure, but he played in the USHL for 3 games. Did not look good. and I know it was only 3 games, but I like to see that jump in from the USHL to the Q because same thing happened with Shilov. And I think it's a very important thing to talk about because it also happened with Chase Reed. Not going from the USHL to the Q for Chase Reed, but USHL to the OHL. And I like when players get a little bit of taste in the USHL because it's a more rugged, it's more AHL type of hockey in terms of like a major junior league. So for me, it's Tommy Blyle. And then my biggest riser right now, other than a Wyatt Cullen, because I was wrong on Wyatt Cullen, and I'm not going to take credit for Wyatt Cullen because I just finally put him in my first round in March. But New Wave Hockey Link actually was the one that kind of like was like, you have to put him in here. And I was like, all right. So he's been incredible. He missed a portion of the season, like at the start. So I was a little lower on him, and then he just has been very good. But this is the person that has rose the most in my rankings from where they are now to where I had him. I had him listed 33rd in March, and now I think he has gone into my top 20. Maddox Desjardins.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's funny. You got two players that I have. The 2 players that I would have said are Tommy Blyle and Maddox Desjardins.
Thank you. See, we have consistently saw this draft very similarly, and we have not even talked about it. Like, yeah.
Maddox Desjardins,
because we got Nikita Klepov fight too.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Klepov will probably be higher than what we think. I think a guy like Desjardins could surprise. I think he can absolutely go like in the top 14, 13, 12 in the draft, like easily, because their stats are not necessarily all there. You would want more. But man, that guy went from being a little bit of a passenger, I would say, last season. I don't know if you watched him last season, but he looked a little bit like a passenger to like a freaking beast on the ice. Like the guy is so involved in every play, plus that shot, plus the playmaking skills, plus the hands, plus the
reverse hitting, the reverse hitting highlight reel. How does everything. He do that?
Like, but he creates so much. Like he I don't know. I just like him. Like I had him in my top 20 that I did like a month ago. I had him at 20 or 19 or 18, something like that. And he's gonna be higher than that for sure. Like I don't think I will have Tommy Blyle that high because there's more risk involved with that player.
Yeah.
But Maddox Desjardins is, man, he's looking good. He's the one guy that I want the Habs to get. It's that guy. If he can drop because of stats or his season last year, then that's good. I want that guy absolutely.
So the Canucks, who do we draft if we pick 3rd? And for me, it's Manny Malhotra's son, Caleb Malhotra. Manny Malhotra might be the Canucks' new head coach. He's the head coach for the Abbotsville Canucks in the AHL, and they won the Clark Cup or Calder Cup last year. And for me, I just feel like that would be a really good start because I do think that they're going to be in the Landon DuPont race next year. And obviously that shouldn't go into the decision making. But if they can get a Caleb Malhotra as their 1C for a long time or 2C, I think that's a good building block to have. And you obviously got Zeev, so he's going to be a cornerstone for you. And I don't think you need to think about that. Where do you think?
I really agree with that. I think Malhotra is the pick for them. He's a center. He has a decent size. He can do a little bit of everything. Like personally, I prefer the defenseman. Like I would take Chase Reed, and I'm not sure about Veroff no more, but I still like him. But I would probably take one of those defensemen, Albert Smiths, before Malhotra. But Malhotra fits there. They already have Zeev Bouillon. They have Villander. So they have some good defensemen coming up. That would give them a solid center line. Like I don't know if Elias Pettersson is staying in Vancouver, but if he does, then you have Pettersson and Malhotra, and you have also what's his name, the Captain Canada that was taken last year,
Coots,
yeah, Braden Coots. So they have Braden Coots. That's a solid center line, and even if Pettersson is traded for whatever reasons, and they get something else with it, you still have Malhotra projected in your top 6. You still have Coots who's projected middle 6, top 6. So, like, you're doing well. You're building that center line, which is important, and you already have some high level defenseman prospect in Ziv Buyem and Villander. So I think that's the way to go for sure.
Yeah, I really like that description. And I think that there's not really a bad option for the Canucks to go to because they have a lot of holes to fill. And if you take a Chase Reed, Carrolls, Verhoff, I don't know if I want to take Smits as my top defenseman now. I feel like,
and I have a video exactly on that coming out either at the end of this week or beginning of next week. So stay tuned.
Do you agree with me, or are you saying that Smits?
No, I was saying about the Canucks pick. Like I'm gonna
gotcha.
that they're picking the first round and second round. So, but yeah, I cut you.
Definitely take a look at that one because that's a great video, and you do great work. Your rankings got a massive amount of views. Like this guy's just booming right now. So thank you guys for watching him too. And in terms of the one question we had, do you think the Blues could get Stenberg with the 11th, 15th, and Kyrou? I think it could. I mean, I think it could happen. It's a lot of value. I think that
the 11th, the 15th, and Kyrou, 3-pick plus Kyrou to go to Stenberg. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I'm picking Stenberg, I'm taking that.
I would keep 11, 15, and Kyrou, honestly. Then Stenberg.
Oh, you mean as the trader? Yeah, but if you're in position, let's say at second overall to pick Stenberg, do you take the 11, the 15, and Kyrou?
I think you do, man.
I think you do it, and then you flip the 11 and 15 for another place in the top 7 or top 8 or something like that. You're good.
Or you even just take 11, try to get an like one of the
if you
go Bjork.
If you want one of those like more high level sure shot that are more sure shot of a player, like in the top 8, top 7, 11, and 15, that's gonna get you there.
Villeneuve was 6th on Elite Prospects newest rankings. Do you think that you could go Vigo and Villeneuve here and Kyrou for Stenberg? Because I feel like that would just be a fleece.
I think they will absolutely be there. I think there's no way Villeneuve is being taken. I don't know. Like, how do you even have Villeneuve above Bly right now?
Oh, I could see that because
I don't know, man. Bly, what his skating and his hands together is maybe it's just because I don't know, man. I was watching because I watched a lot of his plays yesterday, so I have him fresh in my head. But he does so many like plays at the blue line where he escapes pressure and he slides between 2 players and he uses skating to sidestep players and then get inside and then toe drag a shot. And he's just like, he's so dynamic from the blue line and it's crazy. And I think Villeneuve too, but it's just Villeneuve is not the same level of skater of Bly, I think. And he's also like 170 pounds or something like that. And he's one of the oldest player in the draft. So I don't know, man. I'm not convinced of Villeneuve above Tommy Bly.
You know, I will say I was on a podcast, Locked On Prospects, with Sebastian High and Kareem. And what I will say is that I was concerned with the point production that Villeneuve had this year. And I was just like, why didn't he score more or produce more? And I guess in the creation for chances created, he's elite. So he should have had about like 50 or 60 points, but his teammates sold, or it was a great defensive play, great goalie save, whatever it was, but he got unlucky. So in my opinion, I think Villeneuve might be higher than consensus than GMs because they know the creation stat. They understand how much he is creating. And when he's with these offensive players, especially on the power play, he's going to flourish. But at the same time, he's sub 6 feet. How far is that going to push him down? So that is like curious what you guys think about Villeneuve. Seems like a polarizing player, but his highlights are electric. He is electric, and he should have had a lot more electric highlights. But at the same time, sub 6
you think he goes in the first?
Usually fall. I do believe he goes in the first, but I don't believe he goes in the top 20.
Okay.
And I think
and I'm talking like I don't like him.
Villeneuve.
Like I'm talking like I don't like him, and I absolutely do love him. I think he's a dynamic player. It's just that there's a lot of questions that are not answered, and they keep being not answered. So I have more questions. Like I don't have him in my second round right now, but I have him like basically on the edge of it. So Yeah. But he's a good player. Don't hate me for it.
And we have another question. Overall thoughts on Carson Carroll's out of Prince George. What do you think?
I think he's looking better and better like every game. Like he's another guy that got better as the season went. A bit like Kadam Malhotra, he got better and better. I'm not sure if I would say he's dynamic offensively. I don't think so. I think like the handling could be a little bit of a limiting factor for him, but I mean he's gonna bring a lot to your team in terms of defense, retrievals. Just playing the game a mature NHL way. That's what Carroll's will bring to you. Is he like a first pair type of defenseman? I think he could be a complementary or insulating type of first pair defenseman if everything goes well. But I think he's more like a top 4 guy, but still a very, very solid like number 3 in your defensive core that will play like 20, 21, 22 minutes a night and will insulate a more dynamic player on his side. And he can also move the puck, shoot the puck, and do all the offensive stuff that he needs to do too.
Yeah, and I don't know if you see the screen right now. My computer's freezing. I have so many pages open.
No, I see the question. Overall thoughts
the
on
Blackhawks are. Okay, do you see?
I think there's also a delay between me and you because I stopped talking. It takes a couple seconds for you to to answer.
It was my whole thing was full blown freezing. I gotta restart my computer. It's not I need a new computer, honestly. So especially for the streaming, and we have a lot of people watching right now. We have around 50 people on YouTube, which it shouldn't actually affect, but around 200 on X. So thank you guys all for watching. But in terms of the Blackhawks pick here, if Gavin McKenna, Ivar Stenberg, Caleb Malhotra go 1 through 3, where do you think they would go here?
Sorry, what? I was reading a question at the same time you were talking. Sorry, man.
So let's say Gavin McKenna, Ivar Stenberg, and Caleb Malhotra go 1 through 3, and the Blackhawks are at 4. Where do you think they go?
Albert Smith. Yeah, that's what I would do. I don't know if that's what they do, but it's what I would do.
It's just there's so much decisiveness on which defenseman is the top one right now, and I could totally see arguments for all of them. Like I had Smith as my second defenseman.
If you're looking for the best chance to get the best out of them, I think that's Chase Reed. I think Chase Reed is the more sure shot player and also have a high upside, but it's just that Albert Smith, there's a chance that guy is some type, like I'm not saying the exact same player, but some type of a Moritz Seider type of player. And that is extremely valuable on the blue line, like extremely valuable. He's a guy that will always put defense in front of offense, but that was the way Seider played too. And then he developed that offensive game, even though he was probably a little bit more dynamic with the puck than Albert Smith is right now. But I feel like the potential is there. So if you want a home run, I think it's Albert Smith. If you want a guy that's sure shot, like top 4 defenseman, it's going to be Chase Reed. If you want a guy that also has potential, then you have Keaton Veroff. It's just Keaton Veroff. I'm just not in love with his feet. So I always every defender, I don't care if he's 7'5", if he skates just average, I will always take the guys that are more dynamic with their feet. I feel like and when everything else is equal, defense, offense, or a mix of everything, I think the feet are too important for defensemen. Like on every retrievals, every pivot, every transition, you have to use your feet. You have to escape pressure. You have to fake it when you go on retrievals. You have to pinch, and then you have to recover if you miss your pinch. It's like there's just so much skating for defensemen that it's so important that if you have good feet, I will rate you higher than players who have average feet.
And we have a question from Anthony. Don, for my Panthers trade out of number 2, which San Jose, we get their 2 first-round picks and Askarov and Shakir. Okay, so you would go from 9 and then wherever the Oilers pick and Askarov and Shakir for the number 2 overall pick. Let's see. I mean, the value for trading up to 1 or 2 is try to get McKenna, but at the same time, the San Jose Sharks don't need McKenna. I think that they would be thinking about it. They might prefer a right-handed defenseman, so you could honestly trade it like 4 or 5, try to get one of Chase Reed or Verhoff, and it might be even cheaper. So let's say, yeah. I mean, I think that
I don't even understand the question. You have to
many...
translate it for me. I don't know if it's my English.
Okay,
I don't understand the question.
So let's
at
say
all.
Panthers win the 2nd overall pick, right?
They
in this
win?
draft, they got Stenberg. So
okay.
So they win the lottery, and then for the 2nd spot, and then San Jose wants to trade up. So you can go. I'll put this down. You could go from. They have the 8th pick currently, and then the Oilers pick, which is 20th in this mock. So 8 and 20, and Shakir and Askarov for number 2. I could actually show it in here.
Shakir, Askarov, and their 8th pick for 2? Or you put the 20th on top of that?
Yeah. So I'll just show it just to give you an idea. You get the 1, and then their 2nd round 1. You'd get the number 1, which is the number 2 overall pick, and then players. Shakir, and then Askarov. Where the heck's Askarov?
If that's the trade, I mean, I'm sure San Jose would like to do that. I don't think.
I put
the Panthers do it.
They would do that, but yeah. So, first round, 8th, 20th, Shakir, and the goalie Askarov. It's saying Celebrini, so I don't know. Just because it's the top one, I gotta do it over here.
Okay, so 2 first-round picks plus Shakir, and there's also Askarov that he said, no? Or it was Askarov.
So.
Well, that's a pretty important factor. If it's and, that's different than if it's or.
I think it is and.
We get their 2 first-round pick. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a lot of value. If you have Shakir, I don't think Shakir is that much of a factor. But you get Askarov, which is probably something that they would love to get. Plus 2 first-round pick, including 1 at number 8, 1 at 20th for the 2nd overall. I think the Panthers will consider that seriously. Will they do it? I'm not sure, but I think they would consider that seriously because it gets them more prospect, which they absolutely need. It gives them a solid goaltender that's like in the making still, but he has high potential. And I don't think they want to re-sign Bobrovsky to a crazy contract. So I think if I was the GM, I think I would do it.
And I think it's an interesting one. Like, the Sharks can trade as many pieces as they want, but we have a question for you. What do you guys see as Bryce Pickford's ceiling? And I want to go to Bryce here. You can actually go to any of the players in the prospect pool tab for your team. So if you guys ever want to see any of this, again, I created it. So if you guys have any issues or anything, come to me. I got to put more players in this, but it's just hard to put them all in. But we have Bryce here, 83 points in 55 games for Medicine Hat. Is that correct? I hope that is.
No, he has. Yeah, I think so. 45 goals. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But personally, it's funny because I was thinking about that question maybe 2 or 3 days ago, and the best comparable that I can find in the NHL, in the entire NHL, the best comparable that we can find for Bryce Pickford in terms of size, mobility, understanding of the game, shot, defense, is playing against us tonight, and that's Radish. I think Radish is a guy that's 30 years old now, 70-point defenseman. I'm not saying Bryce Pickford is going to be a 70-point defenseman. That's not the point of it. I think it's very unlikely that he will become that, and I think it's very unlikely that he will get the same opportunities that Radish got this season, which brought him to that level of play. But if you take everything together, if you take the defense, if you take the mobility, which is just average for the NHL in terms of mobility for Radish, I think Pickford has similar build. He's a strong guy. He's not only strong on the ice, he's a guy that's like giving it all in the gym every single day. Like coaches and scouts around the NHL are talking about how he's a hard worker all the time. They talk about him. And then he has that crazy shot, whether it's a wrister, the one-timer, whether he gets down into the zone to release it or from the blue line, like he can score from everywhere. It's just super good at it. And he's also probably a little bit more aggressive, I would say, than Radish. In terms of physicality, I think he's more willing to send players flying than Radish. Radish is a little bit more passive in his defense, but they're both like not great defensively, and they're both not great skaters. And I don't think Radish is that good of a playmaker, but he's playing on the power play with a guy like Kucherov, so that helps a lot in terms of point production. But he has like 22 goals in the season, and I think that's like, I'm not saying that Pickford will have that because he's probably not going to play on the first power play, but that's the type of player comparable that I would think of is a player like Radish. Just he's not going to get the same opportunity to produce than Radish will or got.
And again, we're doing our subathon, so we're giving away a Connor Bedard jersey in 7 days. Not blue chip, but he could be in it, honestly. But all you have to do is follow like Draft Prospects Hockey, which is my company, and Brock. We teamed up. So if you guys want any of this and during the subathon, you guys can go ahead and do it. We just dropped this news 2 hours ago, and I'm going to be live streaming from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. every single day until the draft lottery as well. I'm on a kick to try to get, or a goal to try to get 5,000 subscribers before the end of the draft. And it could be tough, but I created the 6 site. So if you guys like it, give me a subscribe. It helps me a lot. And then my family will talk to me again, probably, because they'll be like, "Oh, you did something good with your." No, I'm kidding. But
they never will.
Blue chip needs to adopt me or something. I don't know what it is, but being one of the oldest players in the draft has to hurt Villeneuve too, right? Yeah, but the thing that hurts him the most is that he's 5'11". I mean, it's probably hurt me and Blue Chip Prospect our entire lives, so I think it would hurt him too. And in terms of Blue Chip Prospect,
honestly, I think it's more his weight than his 5'11".
Oh yeah, he's 162 pounds. He gained 5 pounds.
He's got the feet to escape. So that's fine. But the fact that he's the oldest player in the draft, or one of, and he's like 160 pounds at 5'11", that's where it's more questionable. It's not just the 5'11".
And we have a question: is Smits offensively gifted? And he's a lot more gifted than people give him credit for. I feel like they think he's just like some stiff defender that can't score, but he has actually really good hands, and his shot is awesome.
Big shot too. I just don't think he's not a guy that's gonna break down defensive structure in the offensive line. Like he's not Chase Reed in terms of offense, or Tommy Blyle or Villeneuve or anything like that. Like that's not the type of offense that he will bring. I think he's more of a shoot the puck first type of guy. He can also distribute, but he's not like the biggest hockey sense player out there. Like I think, like if I compare with other defensemen, Chase Reed, I think, is a smarter player offensively than Smits is. It's just that Smits has the athleticism and the skills to be not an offensive defenseman, but a guy that produce at a pretty good level at the NHL level too.
Yeah, and we are 5 subscribers away from 2,400. So if you guys like this content, we have a bunch of stuff coming out. Scott Wheeler video coming out. Stephen Ellis mock draft. We had the Port Martone interview today that came out. So I'm going to show you guys all this stuff. We have a mock draft live right now, actually. That's doing pretty well. We got 1 like on there. So heck yeah, guys. Building the Blackhawks lines with Scott Wheeler. We have a bunch of Scott Wheeler clips coming out. Porter Martone, my Marty McFlyer interview is out now. Maple Leafs draft options with Scott Wheeler too. My draft rankings released yesterday as well. So thank you guys so much for that support on there. Mock drafting with Stephen Ellis. So we got a ton of stuff out, and we did a 2025 NHL redraft if any of you guys are interested in that content. But again, we got a lot of questions, a lot of people in the chat. Really appreciate everybody. If you guys want us or want me, or if Blue Chip Prospect has to leave and we have to do a mock draft, let me know if people are interested in joining in a mock draft. We have multiplayer option 2. Yes, I think they go Albert over Carson or Keaton. I think the Blackhawks like Smits a lot. All I know that, but I think that there's more upside with like a Carson Carrolls. But I would be fine with Albert Smits. Chase Reader trade back. I could see it. I think
From
Verhoff
where?
needs to be in that same tier. I'm thinking Rangers, SYNYT. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Can you tell me who your team is? I thought it was the Rangers, but I think I'm wrong. I'm taking the St. Louis trade. Yeah. 11, 15, and Thomas. I think that would be really good. Ethan Belchez is interesting. Yeah, we could talk about Ethan Belchez for a second.
Yeah.
A 6'5", 227 pounds, has the Shane Van Sage size, 59 points in 57 games. What have you seen out of him this year, Blue Chip?
Wait, Shane Van Zyge is 6'5" now? He was 6'2" last year.
I thought Shane Van Sage was like a...
I mean, maybe he grew, but I know he was like
6'4",
6'2", like 210 pounds or something like that. I didn't know he was 6'5". That's crazy. And if he can get his feet going, he's going to be a hell of a player.
Let me see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 6'2". He's just a big boy. I guess I was wrong. I thought he was 6'4". Yeah, that's crazy. He plays. He's bigger than he is on the ice. Like I thought he was 6'5".
Oh man, the thing is that he's super aggressive. He's always looking for.
Yeah.
He's always looking to destroy things. so maybe that's why you think he's bigger than he is. But he's heavy. He's gonna play at 6'2", 6'3", and 215 pounds or something like that. And it's like all muscles. And like I said, if you can get his feet moving a little faster with a little bit more power in there, man, that guy on the forecheck, that's the guy you don't want in your back. That's for sure. You don't want to be first on puck with him coming on your back, because that's gonna hurt. Okay. But yeah, Ethan Belchez, man, like he's one of my favorite players in the draft, but he just hasn't produced in the way that I expected him to. But then with the size, he's a good skater. Like he's not a slow skater or anything like that. Even if he's 6'5", 200 whatever pounds, he has a good shot. He has good skills. He has decent playmaking touch. I think he relied a little bit too much to the front. Not relied. I don't know what the word is, but like he went to the front of the net a little bit too much, I would say. Like even though like that's a good thing to do in the NHL, that's a place where you're gonna get shots and you're gonna get goals and you're gonna get rebounds. If you want to make plays and you want to participate in the offense, you have to move back from it a little bit like what Slavkovsky has done in the last couple of years, where he was always in front of the net, and then he was placed on the flank, and then he was placed close to the net, and then he was placed in the bumper, and now he moves all around the ice, and he's scoring and making plays all over the ice. If Ethan Belchez can get some more offensive habits into his game, he can be one hell of a player. If not, he's going to be some type of power forward that can shoot the puck at a very, very high level in the NHL and still score. It's just that he's not going to be the best version of himself.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. He has a good shot too. Really good. I think he has a really good traits, and I think that I could see him. And it's just because like he's physical, he creates havoc out there. Kind of do see that, Corey.
Question for you: like right now, do you take Dagenet or do you take Belchez?
Belchez right now, but I could totally see how Dagenet would be better than Belchez, just because he's more of a, like, you can't hit that guy. He is like the gold star in Mario Kart. Like,
he's higher motor too.
Yeah, the thing is, I think that the offensive upside might be a little more with Belchez, but he is playing with a guy like Liam Greentree, so his OHL stats might be a little inflated. But
still much closer than it was at the beginning of the year.
It is closer, yeah. I just can't put Maddox over Belchez right now, but I could totally see a scenario where he finishes higher or gets drafted higher. But just for me, I just don't like that. And I think Ethan Belchez is not like a Porter Martone. Like Porter Martone was like more of an elite version, but I like the side. I like the traits that Belchez has too. But Maddox is gonna go high, man. If that's even a discussion, that's how you
I
know.
hope not.
Malholtra or Lawrence, I think they're both top 10 players. I think Malholtra has more of a 1C upside, but I think that Lawrence is also a really good defender, so that could go into play. But I would take Malholtra. What do you think?
I think Malhotra too. It's just like in the back of my mind, I have last year's playoff and last year's season in Lawrence in the USHL, which is a tough league to produce and tough league to be the best player as a 16, 17-year-old when you have players on your team like Ryabkin and Nestrizel. So, like, I feel like it's not impossible that it just comes back. Like Lawrence, when he got into the NCAA, it didn't go well, and then at some point, it started to go better. Basically, the exact opposite of Emming. He went the other way. But like that guy from the playoff of the USHL from last year is not that far off. Like he was injured at the beginning of the season, and then the season was a little bit meh, you would say. But that guy from last year, he's still there. He just didn't have a chance all that much to bring it. So if that guy comes back, I think he's a better player than Malhotra. If it doesn't, then Malhotra.
And for the Islanders, if they're in this situation where they're at 12 and Oscar Hemming, Ryan Lynn, Villeneuve, JP Hurlbert, Savanto, or Nikita Klepov are all on the board, where do you think you'd go here?
Wait, what?
So like in the mock draft, like let's say, do you think Oscar Hemming would be the pick here for the Islanders if they go with 12? If they got 12
at 12?
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know. I'm not sure, man. Because the thing is, I like him. I like his physicality, but he doesn't create all that much. So I don't know if at 12 that's the guy that you want to take, unless you really believe in his shot and his creation, which I don't. Like, I like the player. I think he brings a lot, and he wouldn't be a bad pick. I just don't think he's the guy. Like, maybe Savanto for me is a better player. Maybe Nikita Klepov is a better player for me. But he's in that conversation. It's just I'm not sure if he's the guy I'm taking.
And then we're gonna go to
like again, comments. If you want a big guy, Oscar Hemming or Maddox Dagenet?
Hemming, but Dagenet over Savanto.
Not for me anymore. For me, it's Dagenet.
Hemming right now, but Dagenet over Savanto. But I think they're the same tier of players now with the same upside.
Yeah.
I think that Dagenet is more offensive gifted in his projection, but at the same time, like I'm not gonna throw my entire scouting board out the window because of this guy in terms of like how I've been talking about Hemming the entire year. But I do have Dagenet, I think 16 on my rankings. So Hemming now is I think 13 or 12. Let me see.
It's funny, man, that you got him so high. Like we got the same situation with Klepov like a couple of weeks ago, where I was like, I'm super high on Klepov. I have him number 12, and you're like, oh my god, you're the only one. And then the same thing with Maddox Dagenet. Like I had him in my top 20 a couple of weeks ago, and then you're high on him too. You have him like 16. You just said. So it's funny. Like the more you watch, and the more like the minds align.
It is crazy. I think that for me, like I don't want my rankings to be near consensus. I kind of want some hot takes and I want some things, but then sometimes my hot takes are things that other people already have, and I'm like, damn, like how did you figure that out too? Like how did you come to that conclusion when we probably came to conclusions very differently in very different clips or very different reasons, but sometimes you just come to the same conclusions, and it's just like, man, like
it's pretty easy with Dagenet and Klepov. I mean, fire up Instat, go watch them, and if he doesn't move up in your boards, because you're not watching.
Like for me, Wyatt Collins, the next one. Like I can't stop watching him right now, but it's just like, how far can he move? Like Joey Colin is one of my favorite players in the future of the league. I mean, he's kind of the future of USA hockey right now too. So that family is so good. I mean, it's hard because when we're coming down to this part of the year, you get more hype, but I think it's because more people are able to watch more people. And usually, like right now, I made note cards for myself to like I'm making a note card system for my website to help people learn the 435 different prospects or the 440 different draft eligibles, because I think you need to learn all of them in order to understand the value at the top or the mid rounds or things like that. So I think that there needs to be more of like a Quizlet type of game to learn these guys. And for me, it's just like there's so much I have to do during my day that it really does take a year plus to learn all these guys. Like you need to be watching these guys for a while, but at the same time, sometimes you rewatch a guy and you're like, wow, he progressed over the season so much. So then you have to reevaluate as well, because you watch these guys in summer scouting, then you watch them their first couple of games of the season and the like 20 games, whatever it is, and then you see their progression happen from the start of the season to the end of the season. You're like, that's a different guy. Who is this guy? And I feel like Wyatt Cullen's the perfect example of this. It's like, wow, that's exactly what I wanted to see out of Mikey Burchild or
Yeah.
seriously. But at the same time, like there's just so much that goes into scouting all these guys. I feel like I need like to clone.
You need to do it for a couple of years to have a baseline. Like
Yeah.
even if today you start watching players, the thing is, if you don't have a baseline of what they look at the NHL, not the NHL, the OHL or QMJHL or USHL or NCAA or all these leagues, if you don't have a baseline of what they're supposed to look like at that age, like some players, it's super obvious. They stand out and it's just, okay, that guy's going to be good. It's that simple. Like, but some don't necessarily stand out with their skills or their feet or anything like that. Then you have to look a little deeper into them. And if you don't have that baseline of a couple years of doing it, then you don't necessarily see it. And it's not like I'm a pro at it. It's a passion of mine. So I watch tons and tons and tons and tons of it. So I feel like I can hit on some players that maybe some wouldn't, but it's still like, it's so much work. It's so much time. It's not necessarily work. I don't say it's work because I do it because I love it, but it takes a lot of your time.
I completely agree. It's tough. But we do it because we love it, and it's a great industry to be in. You gotta just love it, but you can't complain. But at the same time, there's a lot of prospects to go through. There's a lot of times where I am going to be wrong, and I'm going to try my hardest to not be wrong. But I like that we do come to the same conclusions sometimes, and it just makes me feel like, that gives me more confidence in my ability to evaluate. Because obviously, anybody in this space is pretty confident in their way to evaluate, but sometimes, like my stuff I was saying about Porter Martone last year, like this guy was top 3 or even over the guy that Blackhawks drafted in Frondell. And I was just like, what am I seeing wrong with this guy? Maybe his skating won't ever work. And then it does come to fruition very, very quickly. And you're like, okay, cool. Like maybe I should run a team and be a GM like immediately. And I'm the greatest of all time. And, I don't have any
apply
flaws.
for Vancouver.
So, yeah. I already sent my resume. They forwarded it to Tim Hortons. I have to think they'd rather flip their 2 firsts for an established top 4 right-handed defenseman. I could totally see that happening. Like an established top 4 right-handed defenseman right now is probably, I'll just throw out a name, Artem Levchinov. And then we'll go to Verhoff.
Who was that for which team? I think it's
San Jose.
But yeah, for sure. Like that's exactly what Montreal did last year. They flipped 16, 17 and Emil Heineman to get Dobson. So if you want those players, you have to pay. And at some point, it's like San Jose is a little bit in the same situation as the Blackhawks. Is at some point you got to, and I think like they're more aware of it. Maybe that they need to start building a team and not just drafting, because they signed like that guy who hits everything. What's his name? Do you remember his name?
Wait,
I don't remember.
I was doing something. What were you saying?
I was saying that San Jose and Chicago are a little bit in the same place.
Oh, Ryan Reeves, right?
No, they signed the guy that they got from Vancouver just before the trade deadline. That hits everything. Also scored like 20 goals or something around that this season. What's his name? And Sherwood. So So like I feel like they're more aware that they need to start building a team than Chicago. So honestly, if they trade their first round picks or some prospect to get like NHL ready talent, I applaud that. I think that's the way to go for both teams now.
Let's see. I'm gonna go Juho Piparainen at 19. I'm just kind of just not even like, I just like mock drafting. I do this all the time. I like to do different things, but I'm gonna go Villeneuve here. I don't know why, but for me, I love the simulator. I don't care. We have around 300 people. Thank you guys. We have so many comments to go through. Like and subscribe, please. We're doing the we're doing the subathon. So we got like, we're trying to get to 5,000. We're doing some giveaways. We're four subscribers away from 2,400. So thank you guys so much. I have so much content coming out. So I really appreciate you guys for all being here. About like only 17% of people that watch the stuff are subscribed. So I actually like that, because that's growth right there. That we can grow a lot. So that's cool. Can't wait for the draft lottery to do this all again once we know the draft positions. Heck yeah, Brandon. We're doing this all the time, man. I'm going to be live streaming the lottery. Blue Chip, you're more than... I want to do the lottery portion alone, because my TVs are always slow. So I'm going to do like no comments. I'm just going to do a live, because I have to lock in for this thing. But after, if you want to come on or before, like, let's do it. It's just, I have to lock in. Like, I don't want anybody in the comments to be like, oh, the Blackhawks won or whatever, or the Panthers won, or somehow the Habs won, even though they don't have a pick. I don't know. But can you talk about Ryan Rubrick? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We could talk about Ryan Rubrick. Let's pull him up here. So
sucks.
You take it from me. You take it from me.
He's actually good, man. He's I know he fell a lot, and he fell in every board, like my board. I'm sure your board, the Elite Prospects board, everybody, and for good reasons. Like, for like half the season, he had basically no motor whatsoever in his game. He was not physically involved. He was not doing much outside of shooting the puck from the blue line. And I don't think I ever seen a forward shoot the puck from the blue line as much as Ryan Rubrick. Like, I don't understand it whatsoever. He's a guy that shoots from far, but he has the shot to score. But I mean, at the junior level, it's not the same thing as at the NHL level. But he's got better. He's got more involved. His motor is definitely better than it was at the beginning of the season. He plays more in traffic, even though he's still like a little bit of a perimeter player. He's not like a guy that's going to crush players on the forecheck and, play a hard way. That's not really his game. Not that he can't develop it, but he has the skills to be an NHL player. I think there's a little bit somewhat of a chance that he's still going to be a top 6 player. It's not a guarantee. I do want to guess. And yeah, man, like, he's good. It's just that he's a little bit of a risk now. Like, he was not a risk at the beginning of the season, and then he got that season, and he decided to not work all that much on the ice, and he decided to shoot from far and shoot from the outside and stay from the outside, make plays from the half wall, which was a little bit of a problem. And now he's like taking steps to fix those, but it's a bit late. It's not a bit late. It's too late. So he's going to be further, I think, in the draft. Like, maybe the end of the first round, maybe the beginning of the second round. I don't know. He still has the frame, so people are going to love that. The skills are there. There's still top 6 potential or middle 6 potential. Just that he's not the player that I think we all thought he was going to be before the season.
Thank you so much, A2ZME. I appreciate it. And the thing about it is, I saw this comment here that the more you post, it'll lower in the algorithm. And honestly, like, I don't really care about the algorithm or, growing in that kind of way. I just think that we need to be pushed out more, because I think we are creating really good content, and I want to push out the website because I feel like it's a good tool. So in terms of that, I feel like doing more content during the draft is better, even if it's not going to perform well, because I feel like more people need to see what we're doing. I mean, from the player interviews, from the content we're doing on Twitter, from the YouTube, from the website, and the show that me and Blue Chip Prospect have, like, we're trying to lock in and be like grow more in terms of the respect that we're getting in on YouTube or X or whatever it is. But I feel like we're doing a good job. So we just want to post. I want to post more. Blue Chip Prospect posts so many incredible quality videos, and I just feel like it doesn't really matter if I'm posting more times a day, even if it's gonna So yeah, I feel like
I don't know if it's me that's lagging or you,
what
but kind of died for a second there.
probably I don't know, honestly. Let's see. If the Hawks don't walk away with another dynamic playmaker who could take over a shift, I will be disappointed. Yeah, I think probably everybody. I'd rather have Robert Thomas than another D. I would love Robert Thomas, but he's probably worth 3 firsts.
Yeah.
Do you think the Caps would be better off sticking and picking at 16 and 18 or attempting to get into the top 10 with a trade up? I could totally see a top 10, but I'm not really sure. Like maybe the Blues could go back down if they're like at like 10 or 11, try to get 16 and 18 and throw in like a 4th round pick or something, because I think
If
more
I'm
picks the better.
If I'm the Caps, I'm not moving. They do such a good job. There's like I trust my guys. Like the history behind what they do is like getting, obviously Cole Hudson is a good pick, but even I don't remember his name, but the guy they got at 24th or 26th last season.
Landon Lakovic, and then
Lakovic basically improved on
Gastrin.
everything that he needed to improve on. He's looking really, really good. They just like hit after hit after hit after hit, like Protas and then Protas number 2 and Ryan Leonard and like I wouldn't, if I was the Hawks, not the Hawks, the Caps, I wouldn't be moving up. Like, don't spend more capital just to get maybe a better player. Just trust your guys and get into it. Yeah, sure would. Exactly.
We have more questions. If Vancouver falls in 3rd overall, they better draft Reed and shade down for Malhotra and assets.
Yeah, I'm not sure GM see it that way, though. I
I
think
see it like that.
Yeah, but you need somebody to trade down with. That's the first thing, that's willing to pay the price of acquiring a 3rd overall pick. But like building that center line is so important in the NHL. Like I was making research last time because I was building a video for the Habs playoff, and I was looking at all the center lines from the last 10 Stanley Cup winning team or teams that are contending, and they all have crazy center lines. So I like, as much as a player like Reed is important or a player like Verhoff is important, a right shot defenseman, they are rare, especially the ones that can move like Reed can or make offense like he does. Like having a strong second line center or a strong first line center is capital to be a threat down the road. So I'm not sure, like depends on the GM, I guess, but I'm not sure they would see like Reed that much more valuable than a Malhotra.
Then who are the Blues drafting? They have 3 first-round picks. So I'm going to finish off the pick until the Blues. So I'm going to go a quick one here, but Adam Novotny. I'm going to go Liam Ruck for the Canucks. I'm going to go forfeit pick for the Habs.
Is Mad Ducks there?
No, Maddox went like...
No.
Maddox went 14th to the Capitals.
Anyway, the Habs are picking 31st.
Yeah. So we'll just give him Malte Gustafsson, who actually
honestly, I feel like if the Habs get through Tampa, they can get through anyone in the playoff.
Tampa doesn't have Hedman.
Yeah, but Tampa is a scary team. They're so deep in front, and obviously on their defense is a little bit banged up. Like no Hedman, but it's not like Hedman was good this season. Like he was just okay, and now they don't have Das too for I think at least tonight or something like that. But like they are a scary team. Like Vasilevsky in net, even though he hasn't been good in the playoff for years. Like Kucherov, Point, Cirelli, Cirelli can eliminate, like Cirelli and Hagel together, they can eliminate any line in the NHL. Like there's no line that can get through these two guys. So right there, you have to produce with either your power play or your second line, third line, fourth line, which is much, much, much harder. So I don't know, man. They're a very scary team. They can play heavy, they can play fast, they can play any type you want. they're a scary team, man. So and they have so much experience that I feel like if we can get through them, I'm not saying we're winning. I'm saying that we can. There's no team that I'm scared of if we get through Tampa.
Yeah, and obviously, do you think that the Habs could win the Stanley Cup this year?
I mean, the Blues did, so it's not impossible. It's just, is it likely? Probably not. Like, I feel like teams like Carolina and even then, like Carolina, like they're good. They're suffocating. I think Carolina has a good chance. Teams like, well, Dallas, they won yesterday. Dallas, yeah, I think so. So Dallas is there. Minnesota is there, and I think the Habs are like after those teams probably.
Mr.
Just the path is so hard. Man. You start like you end up your season with 106 points, and you end up like facing Tampa Bay. Like, what's that?
So if you're the Islanders, I think honestly the Habs could go on a run and win, but I think it would take a lot. But if you're the Islanders, is Dobson like? Do you think he'll get fully healthy?
But I don't know, because there's report that he had a surgery on his thumb, but it's not confirmed by the team or anything like that. So we don't know. We know that he traveled with the team. We know that they said he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks, which is going to be next weekend. But that's all we know. So, I mean, and he's a massive piece. Like, we survived and we did well in the last game without him. But, like, do you want to go in a 7-game series without Dobson when you have Dobson? Probably not. It's like, it's so important. But, like, Hudson played 29 minutes, I think, last game because the Dobson is not there.
So if you're the Islanders, pick the highest upside in Klepov or someone like Lynn or Navani, who are less risk. What do you think?
Highest upside? It's Klepov for sure. Like, Novotny is going to be a shooter, a guy that's going to be good on the forecheck and stuff like that. Ryan Lynn, I think he's a good player, even though I have him a little bit lower. It's all a question of, like, I don't feel like he's impressive at his size. I think there's more impressive players than him at his size, so he's not my favorite, but I think he's going to play in the NHL. I think he's a good chance to be a top 4 player. But Klepov, every time I watch him, he's not only a shooter, he's also a play creator. He's extremely agile in the offensive zone. He's smart. He can slow it down. He can play with pace. He can do everything. Like, there's nothing that Klepov can't do. So, I mean, I feel like Klepov is that guy that could be picked somewhere in the teens that could end up a first-line winger in the NHL. That's certainly not impossible in my book.
And we are just 2 subscribers away from the goal of 2,400. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to go live every day at 1 p.m. Central until the draft lottery. I will do like 1 or 2 hours. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling or what I got to do on my schedule. But let's check the scores today. The Habs and the Lightning are playing at 6 p.m. So, hoping there for blue chip prospect, hoping to get like a little Habs 2-0 lead going back home. You have the Boston Bruins versus the Sabres. And then you have Utah versus the Golden Knights at 8:30. And this is a fun one. Then again, Avalanche versus Kings. I would be surprised if this wasn't a 4 or 5 game series. But I think the Avs will take that. Let's see. Will there be a good puck distributor when the Preds pick? Well, yes, for one is Vigo Bjork. Ryan Lynn is up there. We could do a new draft. Let's see. All right, Chicago won the number 1 overall pick in this class. Kind of thought that was going to be the case. I just had a feeling.
Where are the Preds picking?
The Preds are 9 right now, so let's go all the way down to 9.
So I think you'll have better than Ryan Linden.
So you could go Vigo Bjork, Rudolph.
But puck distributor, does he mean defense?
I'm not sure. I think it's just like
I think so.
Vision.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
We have 40 people watching on YouTube, so thank you guys so much. I have a mock draft running as well. during the this, and we had over 200 people already watching that, which is live right now. So thank you guys so much for that. I didn't plan on being live during that premiere, but at the same time we had fun. Blue Chip Prospect came in, and you know, we have a lot to talk about before the draft. But in terms of the Panthers, I could see Ethan Belchez being an option here, Vigo Bjork, even Dax Maddox, or like Oscar Hemming. Only if the Preds pick Vigo. Yeah, I agree. If he's still there at 10, I think that would be the perfect pick. I feel bad for Vigo. He had a credible year, went from the 13th forward, fourth line winger to 1C in the SHL. But the important thing this year was grow a few inches, which did not happen. Yeah, that's yeah, that is what happened. What do you think?
I think he's so good that like he's 5'10", something like that, like 5'10", 5'11". It is what it is, man. He's like he's not growing, but I mean the player itself is for real. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. It's just obviously you'd rather have a guy of the dynamism of Vigo being a 6'3" player, but he's not. So it's fine. I think he's going to be a good player. If you look at Zach Benson in Buffalo, the guy looks really, really good. He's super competitive, super dynamic. Like he's not producing at crazy numbers or something like that. It will take time for him to get there. Probably the same thing with Vigo Bjork, but he will be a very useful player, whether he's 5'9" or 6'2". Like Cole Caulfield just scored 50 goals and above a point per game, and he's like 5'3", so it's okay.
And I will run a mock draft right now. One with people. If we get over 30 likes in the chat, we have 19 right now. We have 33 people watching. So if you guys do want to do that, let me know if you guys are interested, and then just smack the like button so I know. Like we've been live for about 2 hours. So if anybody actually wants to run a mock draft and with us, we will do another one if we get to 30 likes. So just let me know. It's just my way of knowing if people want to do it. But in terms of any more questions, does anybody have any other questions? We have the Blackhawks picking number 1 in this mock draft, but let me know if there's any more questions. Blue Chip, do you have anything else coming out this week that they should be looking for?
Basically all my next videos are probably going to be how can I say that, like picks for teams, basically the targets for different teams. So I have Calgary written down. Like basically I go through the whole team, I analyze their needs, I analyze the roster, their prospect pool, and then we go through the first 2 rounds and I pick a player for the team. So I'm gonna do that for all the teams that are at the bottom. And that's basically what are my next videos for now. Maybe a couple like podcasts here and there as we get closer to the draft. I like to do a couple podcasts or long form videos instead of just like 10, 15 minutes videos. So, but that's about it. It's for now, that's the focus.
Yeah, I know we wanted to do like 1 a week or whatever, but I know we're both busy. So if that doesn't happen, we could always jump on a live stream. I'm always free now, but fine. Yeah. So it's cool that we got on this one. I don't know if you wanted to try to do one at 1 p.m. every day until the lottery. We can totally do that. I'm gonna be doing that, but
like we were saying that we wanted to do like scouting videos, scouting breakdowns. I mean, like if you do one every day at 1 p.m. Central, maybe once every couple day, we could do like a breakdown for the first like 20-25 minutes of the video, and then I can break it down into the video.
Do
so that's a good way to do it. That's a good way to do it, I think. So,
and we can even clip that and then post it as a video. I know we're still live.
That's what I was gonna do. As I was gonna take the video, the live, and clip the part where it's like a scouting report and put it as a video after. Because I don't think I'm going to do many scouting reports this year. It's not I don't know. I'm just not enjoying doing the scouting reports all that much now. I like talking about the draft. I like talking about everything around the draft. It's just that just scouting reports. I don't know. I'm just not into it this year for some reason. But doing them live is a different story.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I've been focusing on just the site, trying to do a lot of being the businessman and the CEO of Draft Pros, but at the same time, I do miss doing the scouting reports. We'll be posting a lot of them, but a lot of them are going to be our scouts. So next year, once it gets a lot easier for me, I'm going to be going back with my scouting reports. I have a couple that I'm going to post, and I have an article out of my rankings. I actually can show people my rankings site because I just redid it. So this is the new Draft Prospects Hockey website. If you go to the rankings here, and you go down blue chip, if you want to put your rankings on here, I can put them in for you. But Prospect Dawn rankings right here, you could see my top 32 if you want to go into it for a second. I had Elton Hermanson, Sheilov, Marcus Ruck, Brooks Rogowski, Mathis Preston, Ryan Rubrick, Wyatt Cullen, and Liam Ruck. And then William Hawkinson, Pantelis, Malte Gustafson, and Desjardins. I guess I have him 21, not 16, but I definitely think that he's definitely going to be over Ilya Morozov in my next one. Pippa Reinen. I do like the upside of Desjardins more than
Novotny.
Adam Novotny and JP. So honestly, but you can. So we'll go down to my next top 15. Nikita Klepov, Xavier Villeneuve, Oliver Savanto, Oscar Hemming, and Daxon Rudolph, and that's tier 2. So tier 1 is Ethan Belchez, Tynan Lawrence, Albert Smits, Vigo Bjork, Chase Reed, Caleb Malhotra, Carson Carols, Keaton Verhoff, Ivar Stenberg, and Gavin McKenna. So if you guys want to create your own rankings, you go here. You just move them around seamlessly. There's an AI chat here, Prospect on AI. My computer froze again because I have too many things open. But if you go here, I programmed him into knowing everything that I know as much as I could program an AI to know as much as I know. And then every conversation he gets smarter. So you go to like, who's number 1 overall? This is Gavin McKenna, and it's not even close. I'm trying to, if you guys want to use him, please do. We're trying to make him smarter and have him be the next shareholder or next person in the room of the Habs because they're using AI. So if you guys like this, like, go ahead and try it out. I put a lot of different things into this. So if you go here, I also made a scouting tool. I made this a while ago, but I don't think it's very good anyway, still. But it's still in the works. Like if you go like McKenna, you can obviously use this or post it, but I think that it's kind of cool. But it doesn't really do much right now, but it's good for the sponsors to have it on there, but they like it. So 36 people watching on YouTube. I think that this is a good time to honestly close out. It's 3:00. I got to eat. I have a couple things going on YouTube later today, but I want to go to Blue Chip Prospects YouTube channel and X because I feel like you guys need to subscribe to him. He's been doing great work. Blue Chip's awesome guy. So check him out on, I'll do this. I can't find you. I think you're banned on like X. I can never find you when I pull it up.
For real?
Yeah. And we like talk all the time. Like the only time I can find you is if I go into the chat. Or if you like one of my tweets.
You blocked me. That's not cool.
No. I think think you.
Then I'll block you too.
All right, so this is Blue Chip Prospect. If you guys want to unfollow here, mute, block, report, anything
like
you guys want.
300 followers, and probably half of it is bots. Some days.
Yeah, Blue Chip bought all of his followers. He actually has 0. I actually just made a bunch of accounts. This is 319 of me.
It still says co-host on the Recruits Hadcast. I haven't.
Doesn't even have our podcast. Wow, that's
No,
crazy.
man,
Doesn't even have our show.
I put a lot of effort into X, as you can see. But I try to put more effort into it, and I'm gonna have to change that because I haven't been on the Recruits podcast since the trade deadline.
Yeah, he got fired for a scandal, right? You said Zurovsky wasn't good or something.
No, it's just it just didn't work the way we expected it to work, and haven't been on it. I think I'm going back on it like this week or maybe next week or something like that. Just not a regular co-host, and he's not as also because at the beginning it was supposed to be a co-hosting thing, and then he decided to do it live and to host his own show. So it changed everything then from there.
Well, we stopped getting comments. I think people are done with us for today. Like and subscribe.
I'm done with you.
And unfollow Blue Chip Prospect. He's terrible, horrible human being. No, I'm kidding. We got around 700 viewers in 2 hours, so that's pretty good. Try to get around 10 million next year. But it's a process, you can't win them all. But thank you guys so much. And also the last thing I have to promote is the jersey giveaway. So definitely wait, where the heck? Yeah, we're doing a jersey giveaway, not Blue Chip Prospect. He's not involved in this, so don't follow him for this specific thing at all. No, I'm kidding.
Bedard, who's that?
Yeah, so Connor Bedard. I was talking to Marco D'Amico about doing a what's his name, Slavkovsky jersey giveaway. So maybe Blue Chip, you want to do that one?
I'm more in on that one.
Yeah, so honestly, we'll have Marco D'Amico on too, and hopefully he gets me on his channel, and then Blue Chip will come in and because they just hit 15,000 subscribers. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. We have one comment left. If the Devils pass on Hemming, gotta fire. Oh wow,
Meta already.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. We got a couple things coming in, and me and Blue Chip Prospect hopefully will jump on a podcast soon. I got stuff tomorrow too, but thank you guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate you guys watching. Peace.
Cool. Peace.